Hello. Good morning, everybody. Oh, well, yeah, this time you won't be seeing me because on this phone I can't turn around the camera, and on my other phone I don't know, but all of a sudden all of the space is all filled up. Even though I take off the videos, I delete some apps, but yeah, I gotta get what they call that the memory thing. Anyways, a SD card. Anyways, this was the answer to number one by my group over at BBS Network, the BBS platform. Just type in BBS Market. When you go there, you'll come eventually to the top boards. Now, there you'll see me here on the top boards. You come to number five. There I am. So that's that. And this was the first one again. The five most common political systems around the world. Now, there are more, but again, these are the five most common. Because right now, people need to be knowing about these things. The five most common are democracy, republic, these are the main two that we hear about. Monarchy, that's with the queen in there, that's going down. Communism, that's not good. Dictatorship is going to be adjusted. But you all can choose for yourself which one is the best. Because that's what we're all supposed to do. And everybody has the right to do all of these things. Every citizen, anyway. Like, that's going to be another thing I touch on today. What's a citizen? Because we need to be knowing these things. Democracy. We often hear the United States referred to as a democracy. Indeed, many may refer to the U.S. as a representative democracy. A democracy, in a more traditional sense, is a political system that allows for each individual to participate. Each individual. There are two rather there are two rather popular types of democracy. So for me, I would be between here and a dictatorship, and still more dictatorship. But then an adjusted one, not as it is now. Direct democracy. Many scholars point to Athens as an example of direct democracy. Technically, every citizen has an equal say in the workings of government. The qualifications for being considered a citizen are completely different. The qualifications for being considered a citizen are completely different. Citizens could show up at a meeting and then directly participate in the governing process and the process of making laws. Now, that I don't agree with. That's a direct democracy. In a representative, which is what they're saying America has, and I would say, well, I'm going to go through all of them. Set up citizens, elect representatives who actually make the law. So that's what goes on now. We elect people, we vote, that's it, we electing by voting, who actually make the laws. So they make the laws. And to change them is also by paper. The same way you vote is on paper. With a petition is that thing, everybody's signature, that's how you change it. The United States operates similarly to this principle. Citizens elect legislators who in turn make laws. We do the same on SABR. In here Holland too. In the US, even the president isn't elected directly. Well, that we don't have. I don't even know if that's really true for RU, because behind of everybody is still a type of dictator. Like, it's still a mentality behind them. That's the freaking sponsors. That's the stakeholders. These people have say into it. These things the BBS also has. This why it's very handy again that people come onto the BBS platform. You'll be doing a lot more than just making money. But you can make money. Representatives called electors make the decision. Although designated electors usually vote according to the wishes of the citizens in that state. So they're supposed to be acting according to the wishes of the citizens in their states. But citizens is the key word. Other types of democracy are deliberative and democratic socialism. Yeah, we ain't gonna get into that. Republic. In theory, a republic is a political system in which the government remains mostly subject to those governed. Now, this is what, yeah, it's actually supposed to be good about the republic, because you remain mostly subject to those governed. So the people that are being governed, yeah, the government remains mostly subject to these people. This is what I'm saying. And this is what I will allow in my dictatorship. Like, I'm doing it for y'all. Like, some scholars define any political system in which the citizens legitimize the government. You see, the citizens legitimize. So are you, the people, are what makes the government a government, because are you all sign on to it? You all follow on to it. Now, the longer that that holds, yeah, it'll be written down as something. That's how it works. But, so even like the dictatorship, I'm claiming that you'll see once that works and we prove that that works and is held a long time, they're going to have to adjust it. Some scholars define, okay, we read that line. As such, some, including Montesquieu, considered the U.S. a republic indeed. Everywhere should be a little bit. Indeed, there are those that believe that any form of government that is not based on heritage or authoritarian governance, in some cases a representative democracy or any form of democracy, might be considered a republic. Yeah. Because it comes down to the same thing basically. Some of the types of republics and this is why that's two parties, and that's how they could play on the people. You see, and that's why that's not good. If you was following what was read, if you didn't, go look up these things for yourself. But that's what I now come to the conclusion of. Some of the types of republics that you might see include crowned. A constitutional monarchy might be considered a crowned republic. That's kind of like what I would say Holland has then. Single party, capitalist, federal, parliamentary. Now, at future times, we'll do the breakdowns of these things, but for now, they're not really important. Now it's just the different types. When most of us think of monarchy, number 3. When most of us think of a monarchy, we think of the political system of medieval European countries. So like what UK has and like what Holland has. But yeah. In a monarchy, a ruler is not usually chosen by the voice of the people or their representatives. No, there's so-called freaking king or queen. Which in those things, no, well, I ain't going to say all of that. I don't know the history like that, but my feeling tells me no. Often a monarch is the head of the state until he or she abdicates or until death. And right now, the same way how they did to the kings back then, the queen ain't got too much. She signs and she still got some power, yeah. But it's still like her court justice that doesn't really work now. That's what it is. In many cases, a monarch is the final word, yeah, of government. Yeah, how people got the final say. Same thing in a dictatorship. They got the final say. Well, I would have the final say, but I would still put that on my team, certain things. There may be functionaries to make decisions and run the political system, but the monarch has discretion with the laws and how they are enforced. Yeah, and that's not right. Like even me, if I do something wrong that's out of line, I expect to be held accountable. But it's on the people to be doing these things. You gotta hold your leaders accountable. Like, I know I won't make no mistake. So, like, my thing is I'm setting the bar, people. Like, when I'm gone and when I leave office, because it's still gonna be 4 years, 1 term, to the most 2. I agree with that. 8 years. That's enough time that you fully see your vision come true, because the first 4 might not be enough because maybe you got things developing, structures building, yeah, then you still need time. If within the 4 years, like I'm saying, if you could do your thing in 4 years, that's it. The next people got to come and do their thing. If it was to say now the people wanted me to take on another year, because then I'll still give the people the choice. I would still run, but I would also put out my thoughts. But if the people still want me there, then I'll stay there the other term. But that's on the people. The first one I'm fighting for, I need to be there the first one. Yeah. But in my own, hey, that's still staying. A term is 4 years, and to the most you get two. That's it. Because after that, you need fresh ideas. You now got to move on. And like most of the politicians is usually like governor in them is like above 40, 8 years. Yeah, if you made it to 40, you got 8 years, you put down good in government. 2 years after that, between 50, 55, you could retire. Or even after you done with your 8 years. If you did good work, you getting rewarded. If you smart, you put down your businesses and all of that. Like, oh well, expand them. But that was the monarchy. I don't agree with that. Because even like me later, like even if we bring back kings and queens to the status of what it was, let's say, I still don't expect that Angel is going to get the job just because she's my child. I would like to hope so. And I would like to say that that is how it should be. But no, that's everybody got to earn that. Like, I'm going to make sure Angel's on the path as to where, I'm going to put out my things to all of my children, but then it's on them, Otherwise, they just push for what they want to push for. It's their lives. I know what I would want, but it's not about me. It's about their lives. It's about their path. This is mine. Communism. In most cases, a communist state is based on the ideology of communism as taught by Marx and or Lenin. However, some argue that these political systems are not true to the ideals espoused by the revolutionary thinkers. So that means to say I would disagree, and I do. Communists, because I'm a revolutionary. Communist states are often dominated by a single party. That shouldn't be. Anybody. They could be, like, we should put a limit on it, but there should be at least, like, let's say 5 parties. Let's say 2 is not enough. That's not fair. 5, because we gotta have a limit. And every year, somebody could try, you know. Well, for the politicians, well, yeah, that's every term, so that's every 4 years. So every 4 years, you could have different parties. Well, in total, then, oh well, yes, still we figure it out because at a certain time, like to 8 years to the most, when one party is coming up, well, yeah, the parties could remain there because even like if I got my team, for example, and I was now governor for the 8 years. Now, okay, the terms is up for me being governor, but if I wanted to, I could still be a normal politician. I could still run to be on the team self, the same team I was pushing for when I came governor. Only I pushed one of my other members to come up because I know there's people on board. They know what it's about. They're gonna push for the same thing. They're gonna carry it on. So now I'll, step down, take that role, a lower function. I don't mind falling back. And then I would go into finance, make sure that that stays good. Either that or the youth, like I had said originally. It would be one of those, either the money or the youth. You know. Make sure the island doing good. We moving forward. That we need the money for. And the youth is the future. So one of those two. That's what I was pushing for before. But the communism, no, I don't agree with that. Just one party, just no, that's wrong. Now, dictatorship, according to how they have it, people, I do not agree. But we'll go over their thing, and then I already said bits of my own. but I'm gonna go over the things, and as I going over it, I'll say what I say to change it. You see, look how bad they put it down about lackeys already. Like, anyhow, another authoritarian form, and that is true, is that, but one that works on behalf of the people. Like, rules need to be there; they need to be enforced. Another authoritarian form of government is the dictatorship. Normally, a dictator is the main individual ruling the country. That's so. While there are lackeys, I would not call them lackeys. There are politicians, they are my team members. Freaking lackeys. And others who work for that dictator. He or she makes most of the decisions. You see, most. Because it's still a team effort, and then it's still a community effort before that. You know, and usually has enforcers. Yeah, that's like I'm saying, that's my street people. Don't think you could test me. We good, you know. In some cases, the political, well, and the police is also under me. That's the legal enforcers. But as they got it here, they don't mean that, or they would put that. Same thing with lackeys. They mean exactly what they say. That's why I don't mean that. In some cases, the political system is run by a small group of people. Well, how big is a normal political team? I mean, say like on Sabre is going to be the same. One is on top, and then you got five people. One for each sector. You know, that's what it is. That's a small team. And it's still a big team to me because it's still the whole island involved. Like, that's how it needs to be. Dictators are, and this is the thing right here. This is what I'm pushing for. Dictators are not restricted by constitutions or parliaments. What did I say I follow? Universal law, right? Okay, then. That's what we follow. That is still more connected to everything more than these. I could still respect them, but do I have to follow and obey them? No. Come with proof, come with evidence, come with something real. Yeah. Don't just come to me with no freaking words on paper. I could do that too. Like, the government are usually not consented in that way. Exactly. We don't respect that. And listen, how we live in our place, in our country or whatever is not the same as wherever else that might be ruling you from the outside. No, 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 no. Then to the most you could be a partner, you could support, you could help out. That's what it is. Ain't nothing about you ruling nothing. Elections held are usually affairs in which the dictator is the only candidate. Well, I am not pushing for that. I am still pushing for, like I just said, 5 teams. I mean, 5 groups of, 5 parties, which is more than what they have anywhere else right now. Most places is only 2. It used to be at least 3, but now it's only 2. And I already pointed out why those 2 are still around. Why it's going to be the 2 of them, because both of them could play on the people. But which one of the 2 really helped the people? Okay, then. That's what it's about. One of the more common types of dictatorship is the military dictatorship. And I would say all of them still got that. And I would say all of them is still a form of dictatorship because behind them are, like I was saying, the corporate bastards, the stakeholders. Yeah, them types of people. Them is who they take orders from. In which a military organization governs. And that would be when it reaches to a real martial law, a police state. This is going to be the next step. Running the political system. Sometimes the military just exerts a great deal of pressure on the government, running the country de facto in many cases, very few, and this has played out in many places too. In many cases, very few benefit from the decisions made in that dictatorship. Yeah, I agree. Because you using real force. Like, yeah, ain't nobody testing you. Ain't no governor, ain't no nothing. This is not good, people. While authoritarian political systems have the advantage of a quick decisions being made, many citizens prefer other forms of government. And you see, this is why it's no coincidence that for me, I'm on a 5-year run. I'm now a year and a half in. I still got another 3.5 to go because it's going to take a while for people to accept this because of how you were taught. But I still got people in my community that I already got coming up that don't agree with me. At first, they was going against dictatorship because of how it's put out there. But they said after listening to me, yeah, they understand where I'm coming from. This is what I mean, you know. But anyways, people, we now made it to the end. We covered the 5 main common types of government. Which one do you agree to? Which one do you prefer? Like, so I would say, well, the main two is the democracy and the republic. That's what most people know. Both are good, but both at the end of the road is still held by constitution and parliament. Things that the bastards set up. So now you still gotta be held to that. Hey, listen, by our own, we ain't held accountable to that. Not to them. We're held accountable to the people. Not to the bastards and all of their bullshit. But in any case, because that's how we get free from them. I mean to say, for the rest, the system is still the system. But this constitution, and right now, until that's fixed, no. No. Right now, we need a dictatorship first. And then, once the people and all of that is set good, because I do not trust like other people like me gonna be coming up too fast, like especially then in other places. I could speak for me, because this can go wrong in the wrong hands, just like anything can, so I wouldn't really say that this is should be like what everybody should want. The ones like me that that you're genuine and you know how you would run the thing, then yeah. But once the people is good and everything is fair and now the constitution, the parliament, all of these things is adjusted and set the right way, now we could come to, republic or democracy, and we could do that. But right now is not the time for that. Right now, the longer these things is here, is the longer it's gonna be bullshit, because they gonna always come back to the freaking constitution and then the laws and stuff. Mine is before that, because constitution is the most important quality laws, and that came from universal law. So those that don't know that, look up what universal law is and then try and tell me about you against dictatorship, because you still got to be held accountable to a set of rules. It's not like you could just do what you want to do and there will be no consequence. That's not going to work. But that's how these people think it works. Anyways, people, good morning.